All right.
Hello.
And we are live.
Super exciting. We're live on the mmmEnglish channel. Super excited. A little nervous because of all the tech and all the potential things that can go wrong here. But really excited to have so many of you being able to join live, be part of the conversation with me today. I'm really excited to be introducing the other half of mmmEnglish.
Hello.
The other half of my life, Shah. Lots of you might recognize Shah if you have seen any of the imitation courses that we've put out. Maybe you've popped up in a few videos on the channel as well.
From time to time, yeah.
And you've been roped into being here on a live video with me.
Well,
Welcome.
The topic's very relevant to something I know lots about, which is all the behind-the-scenes stuff that happens with Emma being a YouTube teacher.
Yes, exactly. And that's totally what we are hoping to talk about today. The main reason why we want to be here and to be chatting with all of you is because there are so many of you who tune in every week in, week out, watching the lessons, commenting, and we just wanted a way to be able to reach out, connect with you, say hi, answer questions, share a little bit more about what happens behind the scenes with English.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the idea today is that we're going to do a couple of different segments in this video today, right?
Lots of questions. So we've got 3 different ways we're going to be getting Emma to answer a bunch of questions. So part 1 is called rapid fire. Rapid fire is like a machine gun, like lots of questions very quickly that we'll be firing at Emma. She doesn't have a lot of time to answer, and we'll see what she says. And then in the second part, we've got some maybe more thoughtful or longer questions to ask her. We'll be pulling some questions out of this here mug. And we have a whole bunch of questions inside here, which will be exciting to pull those out and see what is inside there. A lot of those questions are also from our community. And then, of course, we will be, and throughout this, we'll also be going over to you guys to answer your questions. So please, if you do have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Emma would love to know all of the things you'd like to ask of her, and we'll do our best to get to all of them.
I have just got all of the comments up. I was just panicking for a minute thinking, how am I going to see everyone who's here? But I can see Manuel, Olga from the Ukraine, Kevin, nice to see you, Miko as well. Awesome to see so many of you joining in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from. So many of you from all over, actually. We've got Iraq, India, wow, Poland, Indonesia, Quebec, Canada, Portugal. Oh, wow. So some of you up early in the morning, some of you watching in the middle of the day, and for us, it is 8 o'clock in the evening here in Perth, in Australia. So that's where we live. That's where I'm always filming lessons from. Perth is on the west coast of Australia. It is on the opposite side of the country to Melbourne and Sydney. And we're actually in the same time zone as Singapore, which, so we're sort of in the same time zone as a lot of Asia, which is super cool.
Hopefully it's convenient for you guys to be watching right now.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Great to have so many of you joining in the comments. Really appreciate you giving us a shout out and saying hi. Like I said, this live video is really just a chance for us to hang out and to answer some of your questions. As Shah said, we've got a couple of little activities to keep our conversation going today. Yep. But feel free to drop any comments into the chat box, any questions that you have. Before we get started, this is obviously quite a new format, video format for mmmEnglish, and we're trying something new. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous about how this is all going to go down, but
it's going to be fine. Okay. It's going to be fine. You know, we're at we're in the home studio. Oops, that may have been a question we were going to ask you. No, we're going to be fine. We've got the stuff. We did one practice run, kind of.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
Anyway, we'll get this first one done, but the idea being that maybe once a month we're going to host live events on our YouTube channel. And I'm really curious to hear from each of you if you've got some ideas or some types of videos that you would like us to do in a live video format, some questions or some different types of things that we could chat about and share with you. Let us know. Gosh, we've got Argentina, Kenya, Turkey,
so many people.
India, Taiwan, Lebanon, France, Philippines, Jordan, Italy. Oh gosh, how awesome. Wow. Libya, yes, of course I know it, Patrick. Welcome.
Guys,
so good to have you here.
Super exciting to see so many people here from so many countries. It is
Vietnam.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
That's where our story starts, in Vietnam. So good to have you watching. Thank you so much for showing up. Why don't we get started, Shah?
Are you ready?
Maybe we'll just go over what the plan is one more time before we get started.
I have a whole page of questions right here, all written down. Rapid fire questions, meaning that we're going to ask them rapidly to Emma. I don't want you to think too much, and I don't want you to give really long answers for this one. Just kind of whatever comes to mind. And some of these questions, you don't even know that I'm going to be asking you, which will make it really exciting for everybody who's watching, I'm sure. So let's see what we can ask.
Everyone in the mmmEnglish team knows that the request you just made is really difficult for me to answer quickly. Yes. Don't waffle on. Which is a really good expression to know.
Yes.
To waffle on is to continue to talk without really getting to the point, just saying lots of different things, but it's not really useful information. Unfortunately, that's a bad habit of mine.
Yes,
I tend
to Emma tends to waffle on. Emma tends to waffle on. She tends to waffle on.
Yes.
Okay, are we ready? Question number 1. How long have you had your channel?
Ooh, 2016 was when I started the channel, I think. So that's almost, 5 years, coming up to 5 years.
Emma, do you like being called a YouTuber?
Ooh, that's an interesting question. I would always call myself a YouTube teacher rather than a YouTuber. I don't think I'm cool enough to be a YouTuber.
All right, then. Well, what's your favorite part about being a YouTube teacher then?
I love that every week I get to check in with a whole bunch of students. Of course, the channel's grown and it's quite big, but there are always familiar faces in the comments popping up, asking great questions, all of these things. And for me, that is the part that I love. After I release a video, jumping in the comments and getting to say hi to everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is it true that you're actually scared of public speaking?
I'm horrendously.
So you can jump up and you can get on camera in front of millions of people every week, but if we put you in a room live with people, what happens?
I completely seize up and can't speak and sweat and choke on my words. It's very different being in a studio with a camera and recording on your own. I don't record with anyone else in the room at all. Not even you.
Not even me. No,
so it's only me and my viewers.
It's your little safe space.
It's super safe. And on a stage is not a safe space for me.
You have made about 200 videos now, which is a lot when you think about it. Was any of them what was your favorite one that you made?
Oh, there's lots of favorites for lots of different reasons.
You're allowed one.
Okay.
We don't want to go your whole list, but maybe 2.
I loved making, last year I made an imitation lesson that we posted for the entire community to practice with and then submit their videos.
That was
And
super cool.
that was super
Yes.
cool because I got to actually see so many of you practicing the same imitation lesson that you've been learning with me and then submitting it and recording it. And I put together a video and shared it on the channel. I might try and link it up.
Absolutely.
So that anyone
if you guys
watching...
haven't seen it, I mean, it's not so much an English lesson, it's more just watching the result of people imitating Emma from around the world, even her hand gestures, the way she smiles. You know, Emma smiles so much. And it was just lovely to see older people, younger people, and we put it all together in a video, and it was great.
Yeah. That was probably cool.
And you know, you work so hard on your lessons too. You put a lot of effort into them. Is there another one that you actually wish that more people watched? Because you can't always tell on YouTube. Is everybody going to see this? Did some people miss out? Did you have one that you made and was like, you know what, that was like the best lesson I ever made? I wish more people actually saw this one, because now's your chance. The people are here. They're listening.
There has been a couple where you know, they're really useful grammar lessons, but you know, grammar tends not to be
Grammar's tough.
So fun.
Yes. Grammar's
it's
tough.
hard to make grammar fun.
You have to do grammar. You don't want to do the grammar, but you've got to do the grammar.
Yeah. So I think that it's interesting on my channel. Sometimes the videos that I think they're so fantastic and they're so useful. There's one on the passive voice that I'm thinking about now, that when it first went out, not a lot of people saw it, but over time it's definitely been building up because,
all right,
you know,
the passive voice. We will link to that.
Link to that.
Where do you make your videos, Emma? Do you have a film crew?
I make them.
Do you have like a food truck waiting for you outside after you film the lessons, and you can go and people make food for you, and someone does your makeup for you?
Snacks do help.
Yes.
Sometimes you make me a little snack plate, which is really, really nice. But actually, it's just you're looking at the English film crew. So right. Shah will often help by setting up lights in the studio and things like that. But I film it right here in this room, which is one of the bedrooms in my house.
Yes.
Luckily, we recently moved into a house where we have a whole room that we can just permanently leave set up as a studio. So for the first time in my life, I'm not setting up, packing down the studio, setting up, packing down, setting up, packing down. Now it's just always here and ready to film, which is so good.
I'm just going to warn you that from now on, my questions are going to get a little bit faster.
Okay, sorry, and I've been talking too much. I've been waffling on.
That's absolutely. What did you eat for breakfast today?
Did I eat breakfast? I think I ate a piece of peanut butter toast.
And is that what you would normally eat?
It's not far from it.
Question number 10. What would you rather have eaten?
I would have loved, I love a poached egg on avocado with a big piece of your homemade sourdough bread.
No, well, I was going to say, so if anyone does feel like making breakfast for Emma, she absolutely loves to have poached eggs on toast.
Poached eggs and avocado, don't forget.
So what's it like where you live? Do you live in the mountains? What is it like where do you live?
I live by the ocean, actually, and I love it. Every day I get to go for a walk. In summer, I go for swims at lunchtime. It is so lovely to live by the beach, and I've always lived by the beach. So not doing so would be kind of weird for me. I feel like I'm just attached to the coast and to the ocean.
Right next to the ocean. And do you like, this next question is, do you live in a big house with other YouTubers?
No.
Good answer. What kind of car do you drive?
I drive a really old car.
Do you?
I drive a 1994 Lexus, which used to be my dad's.
It's a classic.
It is a classic. I inherited it.
Car.
It's a lovely car. It's got a lot of sentimental value, so I will continue driving it until it can drive no more.
I try to make these questions fast. Emma, have you had COVID?
No, I haven't.
Which do you think is faster, a tiger or a shark?
A shark.
Who's your favorite English teacher on YouTube?
Oh, I would have to say it's either Lucy or Vanessa.
Which teachers don't you like?
None.
Do you get all your clothes free from sponsors?
No.
No? If you were able to, if you were able to get any brand to sponsor you and send you all their clothes for free, which one would it be?
You know the answer to this.
Just in case they're listening.
I'm completely obsessed with Gorman in Australia. Any of you who are in Australia and you know Gorman and their bold, bright colours and beautiful fabrics, I could shop there until...
2 more questions to go. So Gorman is your favourite, your sponsor of choice. Do you have any pets?
I did just get a pet today.
What kind of pet did you get?
I got a puppy today.
Oh.
So she's literally just arrived. She's very, very new. She's actually asleep right down there. And so far, she's not really disrupted the YouTube live, but if she does wake up, I'll definitely bring her up and introduce you to her. So yes, she is now the apple of my eye. Everything.
We don't even have a name for her yet, do we?
We don't have a name.
Yeah.
We've got 2 choices that we're trying to toss up between. Frankie or Daisy.
Everyone knows about that.
And we're trying to work out, now that she's arrived, we're just doing our final decision. Is it going to be Frankie? Is it going to be Daisy? If you've got an opinion on that, let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you think I should call her.
Absolutely.
I'll show you her when she wakes up, I promise.
All right, well, I'm happy to, that was good. We got through those in a good amount of time, I thought. And we have a bunch of comments coming in.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us, Emma, for that first part of the rapid fire questions.
Oh, Manuel's saying he's listening to our conversation and got about 70-80% of it.
Nice.
He's understanding, which is awesome.
Nice,
and we're speaking quite quickly. You'll notice that Shah and I talking together is much faster than my videos that I'm usually putting out, my lessons that I film. So this type of conversation is definitely a little different. And so it's great training, extra practice for you to be listening to me in a different context, probably in a more natural context, like a regular conversation.
Or being asked questions that she doesn't really want to answer. We do have some questions from our viewers. Anna is asking, why isn't your accent really strong? Like most Australians have a really strong accent. You kind of talk like this. How come you don't have that accent? You don't have a really strong Australian accent, do you, Emma?
That's a really good impression.
Yeah.
I have always put it down to the fact that I've lived overseas in other countries, and I think that forces you, for any native English speaker, I think it forces you to speak more clearly and articulate sounds more clearly. I also think that being an English teacher plays a big part in that. And I spend a lot of time trying to speak clearly, articulate sounds, and, regular everyday Australians, they don't have to. And, we speak to each other and understand each other and can get a little lazy with our speech. And, you might be thinking, what on earth is going on here?
Yeah, or what if you have a really thick accent? You help people with thick accents often. We often don't encourage people to try to change their accent, but maybe to improve their pronunciation. We did have a question from Murray Ewan that says, hi, Emma, how can I work on my thick accent? So if you don't have a thick Australian accent and you achieved that through teaching English, maybe from a lot of travel, speaking to lots of other people with different accents, and you have to kind of change the way you speak, how would someone help to do that?
I think you've just touched on a couple of really key things. So there's obviously, the regular pronunciation training, watching your favorite YouTube teachers, practicing out loud with them, focusing on drilling those sounds in a lot of the videos that focus on the individual sounds. But one of the things that really does help to shape the way that you express yourself and forces you to do it clearly is by speaking to other types of English speakers, not just native English speakers, but other is never going to be the case. For me, with all of my students, the sooner that you can get out into real situations, real conversations, and be speaking with other people, the better. Because there are so many different types of skills that you are practicing in a real live conversation. Yes, you're practicing grammar, but you're also practicing vocabulary, you're practicing non-verbal communication, you're listening, you're watching other people as they're communicating, and all of these things are what make speaking and communicating generally really hard. So even if you have perfect grammar on paper, it doesn't mean that you're going to step out into the world and be able to interact with people in a really positive, engaging way. And so the sooner you start breaking down those barriers and you start building confidence with your speaking skills, you start connecting with other people in English, there's motivation, there's little wins and success that you're having at every point. And for me, that is much more important than perfect English grammar.
Great answer. Now, before we move on, I'm just going to let you know that people have been writing to us to say that the connection has cut out. Is anyone been experiencing that? We haven't noticed. We've been here answering questions and things like that. Technical stuff, I have no idea. It seems to be that we're back. Can everybody see us? I'm not sure. I'm hoping that my face wasn't super embarrassing while I was on pause for a while. Maybe we're all used to that kind of thing. But it seems like we're back on. I can see myself moving on the screen. And I'm so sorry, guys, for those of you who we dropped out. I don't know how long for, but potentially, yeah, we are back. And so let's just carry on. The last question that everybody heard was about how to change strong accents. And so we missed the last question, but that's quite all right. I'm hoping that we'll still have that in a recording somehow. We'll find that out later. So are you happy to move along for the moment, Em, or would you like to go back over the...
I'm just watching all of the comments fly through, and big hello to Daddy Dave as well, familiar face out there. Lots of you are saying it's my connection that sucks. It would appear that perhaps it's ours. Anyway, thank you, Javier, for your congratulations on, and to the team of reaching 4 million subscribers. Really appreciate that. We absolutely love showing up at mmmEnglish week in and week out and sharing lessons and getting to hang out with all of you. That's why today is so special. I mean, this is actually the second live YouTube video that I've ever done. The first one was, it must have been in 2017. It was a few years ago. I'm not sure if any of you were also present at that live video, but it would be quite funny to know if there were people who watched live then as well.
I've never done a live video, by the way, and
you're doing quite well.
I don't understand how you could do this on your own. I would have to have a friend with me to do this kind of thing.
You've got a friend with you?
You've got a friend with you. Right. Well, we have some more questions. I mean, guys, keep sending. There's been some great questions coming in. We love questions because it just helps us to understand, what do you want to know? How can Emma help? She's just, you can see she just turns her teacher on just like that, but then in between we can switch between to try and find out more about Emma that goes on, because of course there's so much more to her than what you see on screen. And I'm hoping that some of the questions in the mug are going to help us to unpack a little bit of that. So are you ready to move on to some of these questions? And we'll come back to some more of our audience questions in just a moment. Okay. Okay, so I'm picking the first one out here. So we have a bunch of questions inside here.
This is quite a cool mug, actually. This is the mug. Which
do you guys like these mugs? I mean, we could make some merchandise. If you like the look of this mug, I just made this for Emma because we've got our new logo that you guys will have seen now, and I thought it was really cool. If you guys like this, maybe we can sell them in a shop or something like that. I'm not really sure how all that works, but maybe we could.
Give them out as prizes.
I've just become aware that I'm probably speaking really fast for you guys, so let me slow down a little. The first question we have is, what was the moment that you had the idea to start a YouTube channel at all?
Oh, that's a great question. That would be when I was teaching in Vietnam. And that's actually answering Christian's question as well. He said, did you ever work as a teacher before starting the YouTube channel? So yes. I worked in Australia at a couple of language schools and also at Monash University English Bridging Program. So some of you, if you're watching from Melbourne, Australia, you might even be familiar or maybe went to Monash University. But then we moved to Vietnam, which we absolutely loved. We were there for a year, and I was working at a language school there. But one of my classes was this classroom full of adults who worked really long hours until 7 o'clock at night. They would grab some dinner on the way from work to my classroom and sit there, and we'd have to use these textbooks and practice silly conversations about nothing that was relevant to them in their lives. And I thought, I've got to find a way to get them to really love learning and practicing English with me, because this isn't working. And
does anyone else feel like that? Is the textbook way of learning English or learning English in language schools, is it boring to you? Is that because that's Emma was thinking that, weren't you? It was like, I've got to do something about this.
Well, I think it's like, it can depend. If the class and the group of people are really great, if the teacher is awesome, then that's great. Then, it also depends on your situation. If you are trying to squeeze in a class, between the time that you finish work and the time that you go to bed, and you're trying to do that 3 times a week, you've got to keep doing it to keep up your practice and your skills, then it starts to feel like a chore. And it's hard to stay motivated. So that was really how I started the YouTube channel. I wanted to just film incidental moments in my day that particularly around food. Many of you who've been watching the channel for a long time will remember that a lot of my early videos were about cooking and about
eating. We love to eat about food when we're traveling.
Yes. So I really wanted to just, create these really relaxed conversational kind of videos around food. And so at that time, I was sharing it with about 20 of my students. And I think it took maybe a couple of months, and I looked at the channel and there was like 3,000 people watching.
Watching you eat noodles and take away, right?
Sort of was a little bit odd at the time. I remember feeling, that I feel okay about this, but I guess it's cool, and maybe I'll keep making these videos because obviously people are enjoying them. And yeah, so that's how it started. It started in Vietnam, and inspired by the classroom and the students that I had at the time.
Yes, and for those people who have been asking, how do you start a YouTube channel? I guess watching Emma, you just kind of start one. I mean, you just get your phone and then you make a video and then you upload it.
I don't know. I should have pulled out the camera that I was using for like the first 3 years of the channel. And at the time, it was one of those little flip handy cam things that, you can record video on, but you could walk around with your hand slipped in the side and flip it open.
Well, it was the cheapest one that they had because we didn't have much money.
It was the cheapest, and it worked fine for
it worked
many
for like
years.
3 years. Yeah, we didn't even get we've got a nice one now.
So what I always tell anybody who is starting out on YouTube and is thinking about creating a channel is not to go out and buy all of the different cameras and lights and bits and pieces. You can do so much with just natural light, a really simple camera, a phone. Now, you know, get into the habit. The hardest part about starting a YouTube channel is getting into the habit of showing up consistently and regularly, and, you know, coming up with new ideas, even when, you know, it feels like you're not getting very far and you're not making any money, and or you're not reaching anyone,
or you're tired, or you're trying to like have a holiday,
all of that. That's the hard part. All of the equipment.
Those things. You are amazing at doing. I mean, I just don't know anyone who just keeps turning up every time. The next question.
How's our little puppy going?
She's stirring. Her eyes are open, but she's still lying still. How did your family react when you quit your job to focus on your channel? Because not everybody says, Mom, I'm going to quit my job now. I'm just going to make YouTube videos. What did your family do when you? Families are sometimes families get involved in the decision making in your life sometimes. What does your family like that? What happened?
My family was quietly supportive. So what I mean is, I think that they were thinking, what on earth are they doing?
Right.
What on earth am I doing?
We were wondering what we were doing. I was wondering what you were doing.
I was wondering what you were doing.
Why would I do
this as well? Shah was also starting his own business, and we were both working
on the internet.
Which back then was kind of an odd thing to do. Not so much now, but I never felt, or I never had any questions or concerns or doubts coming from my parents, but I did definitely feel it a little.
Your mum may have said, I found a newspaper advertisement for you, Emma. There is a job here for a teacher in the university.
Yeah.
That you could have got here. Yeah. Why don't you go and take that?
No, that's
real
like
job.
It's just sort of, we call it passive aggressive. What is that? Or like just subtly hinting at.
I think people just unsure. They're just not sure, and they want the best for you.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not so sure how to say that.
Yeah, and also it is like, you know, taking a little risk, like starting a YouTube channel and moving away from traditional sort of teaching, I think is there is a little risk there, and it's not the kind of thing that everyone is willing or able to do. So lots of people from the outside might be thinking, oh, I don't know about that, but you know, it's been proven time and time again.
As we say, onwards and upwards. Okay, next one. Let's try to pick out another one. Okay. Can you walk us through a day in your life? How does each of your days start and end? And tell the truth. You don't go into a meditation retreat on top of in the morning under a waterfall on top of a mountain.
Okay, ask me the question again, because I was looking at all these comments coming in.
Actually, I did notice that somebody from Azerbaijan is cheering us on today. Thank you so much. Did you know that the video editor for mmmEnglish is actually from Azerbaijan?
Yes, Hulna.
And she is
amazing.
Very talented.
She's very, very
lucky
talented.
To have her. Can you walk us through a day in your life? Walk us through a day in your life. How does each day start and end? Please tell the truth.
Okay, so please tell the truth. So
really
there's probably not a lot to share that's really exciting or interesting. I usually get up in the morning, and the first thing that I like to do is have a cup of tea or a glass of water. I like to move my body a little. If I'm feeling like it, that means going to the gym. I go to F45. I don't know if any of you go to F45 gyms, but I really love going to the gym. But a lot of the time, I said I live by the beach. I just love going for a big long walk in the mornings, just to get my body moving and ready to go. Because then I come back, I make myself a coffee, and I sit right here and work. Talk to check in with all of our team, work on different projects. So it might be creating lessons or courses and content for English. But I also have another business that we both work in. And that is like a tech startup in the language learning space. So we are currently building a web platform for our community called the Ladies Project, soon to be Hey Lady, which is really exciting. But that is a huge, epic project that takes a lot of time. By the time I get to the end of the day, we go out to eat dinner because it gets to 7 o'clock at night and no one has done anything.
You want to cook?
Or Shah has done it, because Shah, you look after most of the cooking in our house.
I do.
You look after our health.
I love cooking.
Our health.
Cooking is my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you love eating. So
I love
we are
eating,
a match made in heaven. It is perfect. I cook, she eats.
Yeah.
Yeah. And breakfast is simple.
It's
Poached
true.
eggs on toast, guys.
It's true.
All right. This is a juicy question. What don't people get to see about you in your videos? Do you ever make mistakes? Do you ever get nervous?
Yeah, of course. In this video, you will see all of my mistakes and pauses and hesitations, and I've already choked on my words twice, and that happens when I feel nervous and uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And when I'm making lessons for YouTube, I just edit that stuff out. But that's not what happens in reality.
Through the magic of editing, you're perfect.
Yeah, yes. Which is another reason why it's good to be here and be
winging it
live.
We are winging it.
Winging it. Yeah.
All
One
right.
more question?
Yep, we've got another question here.
Yeah, and then we should probably answer a couple more questions and start to wrap up.
Okay. You touched on this a second ago, but this question says, you devote a lot of your time to helping women, actually, who are learning English. What exactly do you do?
So that relates to the startup that I just mentioned. So I do a lot of work for mmmEnglish, and we both spend a lot of time on our startup, which is in the language learning space. It's for women who are learning English, helping them to build the confidence to speak and to communicate effectively in English. So yeah, in that community, we have an amazing group of teachers who create awesome content and host lessons and classes and create speaking events and opportunities for our community to connect. We, of course, have this incredible network of women all over the world who are learning English. And when they come to us, they feel doubt, uncertainty, a little uncomfortable, nervous about speaking in English. And, you know, through the incredible community that we have, they build confidence, they practice with the tools and the lessons that we provide, and create incredible friendships that connect them across the planet, which is pretty special. And
I was like, is that all? That sounds amazing. Yeah, yes. Definitely we are keeping up the great work on all of that. Let's move on to, my goodness, the number of questions that are flying in. Victor says, I can't see nothing. I'm hoping that's not still the same. Everyone else seems to be okay there. We have someone whose name has appeared in, I think, Russian, who is asking, what breed is your dog?
Yeah, Mandratha is saying, show us the puppy.
Show us the dog. Show us the dog. Dog. Oh, she's, okay, we'll pick her up in a second. She's too cute not to share. One more question. Well, we got different two-part one here. Okay, we've got, what are your favorite sports? You could just, this could be rapid fire. What are your favorite sports? Like watching sport?
To watch sport, I really like watching Australian football, and I'm sure that most of you have not even ever heard of it. It's different to American football, different to soccer, different to rugby. In Australia, we have our own game, and that's probably the sport that I love to watch most.
Okay, Australian rules football. The next one we've got is, and we may just go over this, for people who have not watched the channel or didn't know or have come along and seen this channel, it's called mmmEnglish. Yeah. Why did you call the channel mmmEnglish instead of just like English with Emma or Emma's English or excellent English or any other variation? What's with the thing? It's a question from Charlotte.
Great question, Charlotte. And I love answering this because it's so random. I always think, like, how did Google end up being called Google? mmmEnglish is the name was actually, you came up with the name.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
When we were on holidays in Greece.
I'll take that one.
Yeah. It was because it's because of food. Food is this connector. It brings everyone together in social situations, no matter what language you're speaking. You know, it helps to break down barriers and to put everyone at ease. And so when I first started the channel, I was really focused on using food as a tool to help us connect through English.
We love food. Language. You love food. Who doesn't love food?
So the is all about being delicious.
Yum, yum, yum.
And then, of course, over time, as people kept asking this question, I was like, well, this is cool because, you know, you can also say, English. Or, English?
English.
So it's like a little expression that you can use with lots of different tones. And I think it's interesting how it applies to English. It's used in lots of different ways.
All right. I'm going to go get the puppy.
Yeah.
You can start talking about what made you decide to do a live video today?
Oh, good question.
One of the reasons you can't do this on a recorded video.
No. Yeah, and I was talked a little bit about that at the start, because for 5 years now, I've been making videos and putting lessons out on the channel. But the version of me that you get to meet and see through those videos is a little different than, you know, the real me, and me being able to sit here and respond to all of your questions. Hello,
this is a
puppy
very
girl.
Sleepy
puppy.
Sleepy little puppy that could be called Frankie, or she might be called.
Does she look like Frankie or Daisy? Oh.
Oh, look, she's yawning. Look how fat her tummy is. Oh.
This is a 8-week-old puppy.
Yes, she's a bull mastiff puppy.
She's going to get quite big. Yes. And we're super, super excited. If you were here at the start of the live,
go back to sleep.
Go put her back on the floor.
Okay, say bye, everyone. Say bye. Bye.
Bye, puppy. Bye. Bye. So we just got her, and she arrived today. So we haven't even had our first night sleeping with her. I don't imagine we're going to get a lot of sleep tonight. There's a little bit of work to be done. I think we need to run her around before we go to bed. But thank you so much for everyone who has joined and jumped into the comments. We will be going back through, and so will the mmmEnglish team, going back through the comments to see if there's any suggestions or recommendations for other types of live videos that you'd like us to do.
Yes, we are listening. We are really listening.
Yeah, and we're thinking of doing these live videos once a month. So we're super happy to continue doing them if you guys are into them and are excited to be watching and being part of the videos with us.
We have our team. We have a couple of members from our team in the comments, in the chat right now. So if you are posting your ideas there, we will definitely be talking about.
Want to give a huge shout out to Brooke and to Kaylin, who are in the comments commenting to everyone that is writing questions. They're also sending us the juicy questions, the ones that we can't miss as well. So thank you for both being there and for helping out today. And to all of you who have joined us, it has been such a pleasure to see lots of you and hang out for a little while. Thank you.
How did you find it, Emma? Was it okay? Do you think you could do this again? Will you come back?
Maybe. Yeah. See what the response is.
See what the people say.
If they say no, but if they say yes, then absolutely. Right, I've had fun. Great. All right. See you soon, everyone. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.